Alright guys, we're back on here. Everything should be working okay. It seems like we had some technical errors, and unfortunately the only way to fix it is to end the stream. So we are back. We have the storms impacting Omaha currently. Folks should get back on here in a second. I'm just going to give people a moment to get it back working. So let me just bring it back, make sure we're actually live. Hello, testing. Okay, I'm assuming we're live on here. We are live. Okay, cool, perfect. So we're live. We have to send another alert out, but to everybody on here, welcome back. Storms happening here in Omaha. We were just talking about it moments ago. Again, we apologize for having to kill the stream, but the audio was getting all jacked up, and we did not want to keep that going. So thanks for coming back. We're going to jump right back in. Here, this is what we got going on. I see everybody on here. Let's go ahead and we're going to query. First thing I want to do is query this right here, that report, because that I think was probably at NWS. So that was at, so that's 60 mile per hour for at the radar facility, I guess. Okay, so I don't know if we got any other, I haven't seen any reports coming in yet in Omaha. Storms are impacting the Boys Town area in Omaha, pretty much right along 680, and then points to the west is probably where your strongest winds are going to be. Let's bring up velocities. Let's check out what's happening right now across the Omaha area. Okay, there you go. This is where your really intense winds are. Your most intense winds just went through the Bennington area. That looks pretty hardcore right there. Yeah, about 81 miles an hour. Let's bring it down. This is probably going to be a little contaminated, but let's just kind of see it's in the 60s there. And then how about down here by like the Bellevue-ish area south of Millard? Okay, well, okay, so we're moving through Omaha area. Strong winds with this, again, in excess of 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. You guys saw winds around 60 already today, and now your winds possibly, again, this had a history of causing over 90 mile an hour winds. Let's go back to reflectivity. But notice everything is off to the east now of these tornado warnings. Probably should have expired by now, but I mean, whatever. Here we are in Omaha. Storms are moving through now, rapidly moving across. It's 4 p.m. right now, and it will, by about 4:30, it won't even be in the state of Nebraska anymore.
Somebody asked, do you have a time estimate on Kansas City?
Kansas City, okay, that's what I was going to do next. We're going to bring it down further to the south. We're going to go down towards Kansas City. Because zoom out a bit. This line continues all the way down along the river here and into Kansas we go as we check out what's happening here. So I believe we got Kansas City's radar rolling here. It's going to be a little bit far away. So we have the storms currently moving through. They moved past Manhattan. We're riding along I-70. We are still a ways away from Topeka. Can we query this warning? Oh, that was the watch. We don't want the watch. Yeah, we got severe thunderstorm watch out for Kansas City. Let's go ahead for 80 mile per hour winds. How fast is it moving?
They are moving east at 65.
It's east of 65. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's query out this estimate of this line here. Moving at 65 miles an hour. That should bring Topeka into play here in about 45 minutes. And then you'd argue heading into the western sections of Kansas City about 45 minutes after that. So about 45 minutes, it's about 5, it'll be in Topeka. And about between 5:30 and 6, we'll be heading towards the Kansas City metro. We'll obviously continue coverage. We'll see if we have any kind of very major winds moving to Kansas City, much like we're seeing in the Omaha area. So that's what we're looking at there. Kansas, you still got some time from the biggest city populations. Let's query a couple of these reports, see what we see. Or through Ogden, we had 76 in Manhattan there. We had 90. Oh boy, that's okay. That's intense. 94. Oh, man, God, we're going to see some triple digits here. Junction City, metal signs bent, siding off buildings, damage to hangars at Junction City Airport. So that, again, and then that was right next to 90, right? Yeah, so winds in excess of 90 there in Junction City. So this will be heading towards Topeka again, next about 45 minutes or so. Just very similar to what we saw in Lincoln, very similar to what's likely happening currently in Omaha of widespread winds, severe to destructive in strength. So we're gonna get out of Kansas now. Let's go back up into the Omaha area and see what is all ongoing over here. I see some more reports popping up. So okay, yeah, we're seeing a bunch of reports starting to pop up. So it's what is it? I wonder if this is like a possible tornado report or something. Power lines down. That sounds like. How about some of these ones over by Fremont? Whoop. Over by Fremont here. I know Fremont was another bigger population center. Tractor trailer blown over on its side. Numerous trees down in Fremont. See if we can get a wind speed maybe out of one of these. 66 on that one. Another one over here. 70 there in Arlington, and maybe that one off. I don't know which ones you're clicking on. So roof blown off, and power lines down in town in Cedar Bluffs. So yeah, those intense winds there in Fremont. Got those intense winds in Lincoln. See a couple other reports over by Lincoln as well. Now I'm just honestly at this point I'm kind of waiting on seeing any kind of reports to come into Omaha. I'm curious if we have any comments or anything coming in on this. No comment.
Kowalski says he shut down his office in time to let everyone get home.
Good. Good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Again, these storms are going to be pretty intense, guys. I mean, we've had wind all day, and now the kicker of when the wind goes from kind of annoying to maybe some power flickers to destructive is this line of storms. So definitely, we're getting towards the end of the workday anyway. If you can send your guys home, maybe consider sending your guys home, especially if you're supposed to be driving home in Kansas City around 6 o'clock. Probably not the best idea. You might want to get home before then. So.
Kevin said that the Council Bluff storms are no joke. He said it was very serious.
Yeah, Council Bluffs, that's on the other side in Iowa, on the other side of Omaha. Yeah, you guys probably can, if you are on the Iowa side here, the Omaha Metro, you probably see some scary as crap clouds, because these are going to be no joke. Let's check in, let's zoom in on Omaha a little bit more. Still, again, waiting on those more reports to come in. I know the airport probably got smacked pretty good at some point. So let's bring up the velocities. Thankfully, no tornado warnings. Doesn't look like, as of this exact second, anything that'd be imminent for a tornado. This looks like we might have a bit of range folding going on, so the radar hasn't updated all the way yet. Northern edge of the 680 loop here looks like they're really getting ripped pretty good. Right in here, this is the parallel to the radar zone. So again, you have going towards and going away from the radar. You have the area where it's just going along with the radar, where it's not going to pick up the wind speeds as well as you would normally like to see them. So going back to that reflectivity, again, you can see the edge, that line of storms racing across here. Downtown Omaha, you're getting smacked pretty good right now. Let's clear that warning again and see if we've had any updates within the warning itself here in Omaha. I'm assuming it's still for 90. Yes. Any updates?
Moving northeast at 80 miles.
Holy cow. So if we're moving at 80, that means your winds are going to be at minimum 80. It's going to be going at minimum, or at minimum about 75. You're going to be going with the speed of the storm. That's absolute minimum speed of the storm with a little bit of the ground friction. Now you add in pushing down with the rains and all that, you get that winds very likely in excess of 90 miles an hour in many portions of Omaha. I'm sure a lot of folks in Omaha are losing power right now. Let's get rid of the warning. And this is going to be moving into Council Bluffs right now, actually. We're going to be out of Nebraska. Again, by 4:30, this will be out of Nebraska, and we are right along the river here as this continues to race to the north and east, and this is going to be turning to Iowa's problem if we zoom it out a little bit. Let's kind of bring it out a little bit more regional, kind of see what we have here. We are crossing into Iowa pretty much on all western fronts as it races towards folks like in Des Moines and, well, that's the biggest city here in the range, Fort Dodge. If you are in the state of Iowa, you're likely going to see some intense winds. Now, do I think it's going to be as intense as last August across lots of, especially eastern Iowa? I know a lot of folks in Iowa are terrified of the term derecho now. I don't think we're going to see we're going to see major hurricane force winds. I mean, Cedar Rapids, you guys had 130, 140 mile per hour winds, something in the range of that from August 10th last year. I do not see that happening across the Omaha, across the Des Moines area. 90s, very possible. A couple hundreds, very possible. Actually, maybe even likely across some of the more rural areas. But I think we'll see something that intense. However, I mean, this is no joke right now. I'm assuming this is the high wind warning. Yes, warnings sneaking back up. So even knowing these storms are passing, once the storms pass, this isn't going to be it. We're going to still have very intense winds, possibly even a dust storm, not too far lagging behind all these thunderstorms here in the Omaha area. So
They're calling for up to 65 on that high wind warning with local up to 75.
yeah, so up to 75 mile per hour winds are still possible after these storms have passed. So that's that's some crazy stuff. So man, I'm amazed. How are there like no wind reports coming in Omaha like currently?
Everybody's probably sheltered.
Yeah, so we've measured 93 miles an hour in Lincoln itself from an ASOS station. So that's a weather station, one of the official stations. Let's zoom in on Omaha itself. You can really see that line of storms is. It's passing. Looks like it's going to be passing downtown. Looks like I wouldn't be surprised. There could be the potential for a tornado warning here on the Iowa side or in eastern sections of Council Bluffs. Let's zoom in on this, right where I-80 kind of splits off. Yeah, right in here. That's a little concerning right there in the southern side of the Council Bluffs. Wherever you get the greens and the reds to kind of group together like this and start to kind of curl in, that's when you can get those tornadoes to spin up pretty quickly. So again, wouldn't be super shocked. Chances are if you're in this area, if you're anywhere in the Omaha Metro, you want it to be indoors. You want it to be away from windows in a safe place once these storms rip through anyway, and especially because of that potential for any kind of quickly developing tornadic activity pretty much right out the gates. So again, watching this super carefully as this races off to the north and east. Oh yeah, see you, Heather. Unfortunately, the weather team sometimes still needs doctor's appointments and stuff. So we have plenty of people here covering it. We got Andrea on the producer desk. We have Chris working diligently all day. We got Frank working diligently all day, and we got me here talking to you. So we got this covered. You take this moment to, oh, look at that, tornado warning. Boom, right for what I was saying right there. It's a tornado warning for that area here in Council Bluffs. Any northeast 85, so this is Holland. This is going the speed limit in some of the highways in Oklahoma and Texas. So let's bring up CCs just in case. Let's do velocity and the scope. There we go. And now scope this. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on the ground. That's good. So it's just radar indicated. The potential is there. Again, we were just talking about it moments ago. I was concerned about seeing this, the little curly Q essentially coming in, where the greens and the reds are meeting and kind of coming to a point. That's where you have that potential for a tornado. It's moving, racing to the north and east along this highway. What is this, I-80? Yeah, it's basically, so it's going to ride north and east along I-80 here in Council Bluffs. It's going to very quickly. So northeast 85. Why not? Let's go. Let's do the cone. You may have to zoom out a fair bit here. So okay, cone from the point to the northeast, 85 miles an hour. Oh, okay. You guys zoom out even more. Hey, that just shows how fast these storms are moving, where we have to get regional essentially to show you the track of a potential tornado. There you go. So at 85, so this next 45 minutes, we could be at Audubon, but by then chances are the tornado risk will have diminished and gone somewhere else. Notice we're actually getting like a bunch. That's why we have all the tornado warnings. We got a bunch of tornado warnings. So Neola, Avico, all that, all at risk here through the next 45 minutes. You're going to have tornado warnings galore going into Iowa, as you see all the little areas where it kind of comes in like that, and even up here like that. You know, go and curls in. That's where that potential for a tornado. Be quick, spin up, move, and move on. So let's go back to reflectivity. Let's check out the wind report that has come in here north side of the Omaha area. Branches down more than 6 inches diameter here in Boyd Town. Greater than 6 inches, that takes, what do you say, 70, 80 mile an hour winds to do that? Those are big branches. That's like oak trees coming down. So.
Do we want to check on Kansas City at all? Or?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're kind of a ways out from hitting Kansas City. It's 4:25 right now. We can let's take a second, take a break here from Omaha down into Kansas. It looks like, okay, we got the warning now for Topeka. Let's bring up that warning. I'm assuming it's probably about 80 mile an hour winds. Yep, 80 mile an hour winds. That makes sense. Topeka, you should be getting impacted here in the next 15 minutes or so. Let's clear that out. I do see a wind report. I'm assuming this is just like non-thunderstorm winds from some point earlier. At 4 o'clock, so 25 minutes ago, wind power pole broken at the base at 29th and Southwest Topeka Boulevard. So that is showing that we've been getting strong winds all day here, all afternoon here across sections of Kansas. So what was that 75 you just brought up?
75 over south of Manhattan.
Okay, so that's St. George. Cool. 75 between 75 and 90 miles an hour winds, or 94, whatever it was, between 75 and 95, impacting the Manhattan Junction City area, and that is likely going to be heading into Topeka here next 15 minutes or so. About 4:45, it'll be in Topeka, and about 45 minutes after that, it'll be impacting Kansas City. So this could be on the air for a while here, technology willing. Let's go back up to Nebraska. Storms, I think, pretty much have moved through Omaha already. Oh man, we got up by Sioux City. Looks like we got tornado warnings galore up by Sioux City. There's a lot happening here, guys. It's just me and Andrea out in the studio area, so we don't have anybody else telling us what's happening. We got 3 or 4 different tornado warnings. We had a tornado report here south of Sioux City. Let's see what that one said over by Winnebago. I'm assuming that was from a little earlier, right? Right? Yeah. So we had in Woodbury a tornado reported. Let's query one of these tornado warnings in Sioux City itself. Is it confirmed? Is it radar indicated? What do we got going on?
So it's radar indicated. It's moving north.
Radar indicated. Northeast of 50, radar indicated. Let's zoom in on Sioux City itself, and then bring up velocities. This is Sioux City, Iowa / Nebraska. Okay, kind of messy. We're picking up Omaha radar. We're kind of far away from the radar here, which is good. I'm not seeing anything instantly where I'm like, uh-oh. So I think it's just radar indicated again. And most of these tornadoes are going to be quick. They're going to come down, move a little bit, and lift back up. Honestly, their tracks are going to be longer because they're moving so fast. But right now, I'm not seeing anything. Can we roll the radar back? So at this exact second, I'm not seeing anything here at 427. But rolling it back, I don't see anything too crazy. Very strong winds, but I'm not seeing anything too wild in terms of tornadic activity. Let's go back to reflectivity then and bring ourselves right there. East side of Sioux City would be your best bet for any tornadic activity. CC scope. Or we didn't see anything right there, which is good.
No.
So right there. That could be something right there. Over by Lawton. This is Iowa now. We're in Lawton, Iowa. Okay, well, I get the velocities are looking a little messy, but you notice there is some connective tissue, pixels coming together. That looks like that could have been that's a potential debris ball. Let's roll the radar back a couple frames. yeah. No, so there you go. There's your tornado. Happened there by Lawton, and that's continuing moving off to the north. So it's east of Sioux City, but there's still folks here in the Lawton area and western sections of Mobile, or Mobile. And it looks like it impacted Bronson as well. So that's a tornado happening right now. Let's go back over Council Bluffs. I know we had a tornado warning there. We're seeing some tornadoes reports coming in. Where are we? There we go, Omaha. Zoom in here. We got that tornado warning still ongoing, bringing in the Council Bluffs area. Let's just go ahead. It's probably not there anymore. So let's just go full on velocities. We've raced away. We gotta go north here. There we go. Right in here, we're by Underwood. Notice we're way past Council Bluffs. We were away from it for just a couple minutes, and now we are racing up I-80. I don't see. Bring it back. The radar back like 2-3 minutes. Couple frames. Okay, there might be something trying to drop right now. There you go. Notice the C. Might have just been real quick. We got a radar update right there. So that's good. Hopefully it was just in a field. Again, we have the TVS is showing up. The Mezzo is showing up here within our radar software. That's why you got that tornado warning. It's just to the west of I-80, racing to the northeast. Last time we looked at it, it was in Council Bluffs. It's now already pretty much in Underwood. It's going to keep going north along I-80 until, well, it'll probably break away when I-80 starts going east again. But it's going to Highway 191. It's going to be pretty much following that. Okay, we got another tornado warning down here to the south a little bit in Iowa. Okay, again, anywhere where you kind of get the little curly Q coming out, that's where, okay, that looks like CC scoped that one. Here between Henderson and Emerson. Okay, that's good. I'm seeing some stuff, but it's also very possible it's just debris being lofted. So, point is, tornado potential very quickly could be up and down this line. It's kind of eased to the north, still here on velocities. Yep, and then it looks like we're now kind of just bowing out more than we have tornado potential. So, damaging, destructive winds along Highway I-80, but likely, man, we are getting tornado warning central here across Iowa. So Iowa, you guys are in some serious stuff going on here. Let's query this report. Dang, 98, holy cow. Yeah, winds in excess of 90s are going to be happening here, folks, across lots of western Iowa. You're going to 83 mile per hour wind gusts here in Missouri Valley. Dang. So, yeah, we're getting some pretty intense winds with this, guys. Let's go back to just regular reflectivity. And then let's go see if we got any reports that have come in Omaha beyond what we had. Wow, really? Just the one report? Are you serious? Okay, let's bring up this one by Bellevue down in the Sarpy County. 81. Okay, at the Air Force Base. 81 mile per hour wind. So that says to me that we probably have had a fair bit of wind in excess of 80 miles an hour in Omaha. I don't know who's watching here. You guys watching, and you have if we've gotten any kind of reports, or you guys are in the Omaha area, you've seen anything crazy, let us know. I have a feeling a lot of folks might have just lost power. So, do we have any pictures to show?
We have one right now.
Just one?
Lots of Colorado pictures of roofs just torn off, trees on buildings, all of that.
Okay,
right
yeah.
now, looks like a lot of people are fortunately sheltering and not taking notice.
Okay, yeah. So the storms have just passed, and it's very likely a lot of folks have lost power, so we aren't getting too many coming in the Nebraska area. However, as Andrea said off camera here, Colorado has had a fair bit of damaged photos coming in of roofs torn off, trees down, and it's still windy across sections of Colorado. Let's take a second. We can bring up to let's let's go see Colorado. Again, I know we're getting a ton of tornado warnings coming in. I'm just going to kind of Colorado for just a minute. It looks like we got a new report in the Denver area. Let's go ahead and check that out. It's just an MPing report of some tree branches broken. 68. 68 Air Force Academy. That's actually a little less than we've seen so far today. We're up in the 90s for most of today. So I'm going to kind of just, so from Colorado, everywhere you see, let's clear this out, this like brownish color here, this is all high wind warning. That's going to be through this evening. I don't know what time it ends, but I think it's just upon. Okay, till 5 p.m. here in Colorado, the Denver area, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, I'm assuming, and then shifting off to the east till 9 p.m. So through this evening across a lot of the Great Plains. Let's just shift the whole map off to the east and see all these wind reports coming in. Let's go check back in on Topeka as we have these storms looking like they're getting pretty close to Topeka. Are we? Yeah, we're still probably about 15 minutes away. It's warned for 80-mile-per-hour winds. We've already had winds in excess of 60 and some damage here across Topeka, and that's going to rip through, again, that probably next 15 minutes or so. And then after that, I wouldn't query this. We're kind of far away. So after that, Kansas City will be probably closer to 6 o'clock with potentially destructive winds, much like Omaha very likely has seen here. I'm going to take 2 seconds. I'm actually got to take a second. We can shout out to our sponsors. And let's play we'll do C3 Group. We'll do C3 Group's ad for just a second. I'm going to kind of look, see if I can find any pictures. I'll be right back in just a second.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I, as a contractor, appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
All right, guys. Yeah, so again, thanks to our sponsors. I know we had to go on and off. C3 Group, our supplement, or America Contractor Show, and Merlin Group. They're all tagged in the description below. I'm trying to see here, NWS Omaha had to seek shelter during the storm. They're back in service now. Trying to see, forgot. What did you just send in meteorology there, Andrea?
Oh, I just sent a video. Yeah, you can just see winds ripping through Lincoln, Nebraska right now with that rain.
Okay. Yeah, I tried looking through some stuff. I'm not finding a whole heck of a lot from the 40 seconds I had to look. Probably should have used it to drink some water, but I didn't. So that's okay. So again, thanks to our sponsors, and also completely shifting gears here for just a second. We are still doing our donation drive. We are going to be driving out to Kentucky on Sunday. If you are local to Oklahoma City and Edmond, feel free to come give donations to us. We're going to bring it all out directly to the folks. If not, we have a GoFundMe that we are using to then. So if you want to donate and you're not local, you can donate to there, and we're going to use that money to help get further supplies and get money to get directly to those impacted by the horrible tornadoes that happened on Friday night, as we are here doing coverage for more severe weather. Unfortunately, kind of back-to-back in December. Pretty unusual setup we have across the area. So here in Topeka, we have the storm still off to the west. These are going to continue racing off to the east. Kansas City, again, timeline around 6 o'clock. Let's go further north. Let's go see what's going on in the general Omaha area. Storms have since passed Omaha for the most part now. We have a ton of tornado warnings. Good Lord. Pretty much this entire line here in Iowa from, what is this, like Dow City or something, all the way down to about Red Oak, all tornado warned. Different little embedded cells. I'm sure if we switch it to velocity, you can see all the little curly cues coming up here, right there. That looks pretty, man, dang. Okay, let's zoom in on this one. This looks pretty intense. And Andrea's getting her live producing practice in hard today. Okay, let's do a CC. Okay, yeah, there's likely a tornado going on here in Macedonia, or just east of Macedonia, racing to the northeast. These are all moving very quickly. I think one of the warnings even said up to 100-mile-per-hour movement or something ridiculous. So moving to the northeast, 80 miles an hour, tornado, winds, blinding rains. You don't want to be out there trying to look at the tornado indicator here, right just to the east of Macedonia, east of Highway 59, racing to the northeast in Iowa. We have, and this is just one of many tornado warnings ongoing, potential tornadic storms. So let's just kind of keep moving off to the north. Let's check out different areas. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? I'm going to shift gears. I see another wind report that came in here in northeastern sections of Omaha. What's this one? 74-mile-per-hour wind gusts are recorded at Epley Airfield here in Omaha. So again, that winds in excess of 70 looks very widespread. Winds in excess of 80 look pretty likely. I'm just kind of waiting to see if we get another 90 something. Here's one from Council Bluffs. This is right by where I saw potential for a tornado a few minutes ago. Bring that one up. Just came up a second ago. 79-mile-per-hour winds here in Council Bluffs. I know somebody said somebody in the comments had said the storms for Council Bluffs look like they're no joke. Yeah, 80-mile-per-hour winds is no joke. This is destructive style wind that can take off some roofs and can definitely rip out shingles, lift a lot of shingles, and possibly uproot major trees. So, yeah, racing to the northeast here. We're in a lot of primarily rural Iowa. I think the entire state here is going to be at major risk for at least 70-mile-per-hour winds, risk for tornadoes. Hopefully they will not be strong tornadoes and hopefully just short-lived ones, but tornadoes nonetheless. And areas like Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, all at risk here for severe wind. I think that's going to cross the entirety of the state through this evening. Let's zoom it out more to a bit of a regional look. We can kind of see all of Iowa with this as we see more and more wind starting to sneak in. We have a bunch of tornado reports here over by Sioux City. Thankfully, those risks have passed Sioux City now. Still got the tornado warnings going on, but let's still look at a couple of these tornado reports. Power flashes from power lines, okay, in Lawton, that makes sense. We're looking at that. We've got the one in Bronson, and then I'm assuming you're going in order, yeah, down by Salk. So, yeah, it looks like there might have been a little bit of a longer track tornado here to the east of Sioux City. Unfortunately, we're hoping it didn't impact too many homes, but you know, it always can be worse. So this is again, serious situation. Chances are, as this line approaches you, if you live anywhere here in the state of Iowa, you'll likely hear the tornado sirens because these things are getting tornado warned pretty quickly and pretty frequently now as we're getting into the prime time of the day for tornadic activity, along with the fact that it is very humid here across most of the state of Iowa. So this is nothing to kill these storms. So as these storms approach, get into your safe, sheltered location. The employees of the National Weather Service in Omaha had to seek shelter during these storms, so I strongly suggest you do the same. So let's just kind of work our way back south again, and if we aren't too, got another wind report here by Council Bluffs. Check this one out. The one I'm pointing to.
Yeah, I can see where you're pointing.
Oh, right here. The one that, yeah, another 80-mile-per-hour winds in Underwood. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that they got between 75 and 85, maybe even, I haven't confirmed 90 yet in Omaha, but 75 to 85-mile-per-hour winds looks like impacted most of the city of Omaha and the entire metro even.
There are pictures of like sheet metal blown off of roofs and stuff coming out of Omaha. There's videos, but.
So, okay. Andrea just said that we're getting videos coming in of metal roofs getting ripped off and stuff. So that's kind of what you expect from winds like this. A lot of metal roofs getting peeled off of buildings and big trees getting uprooted, probably massive power outages across the city. There's quite a bit of trees in Omaha, so we could see some pretty destructive winds here across both the Lincoln and Omaha areas. Lincoln had winds over 90, and Omaha, you guys might be flirting with that too. Let's go back down south. Let's kind of see how close we are to Topeka. So again, this line goes all the way down here to the Topeka area. Looks like we have still a little ways to go, but look at all these wind reports. Wow, dang, what the hell's going on? Let's query some of these. Kansas City area is getting all these wind reports, non-thunderstorm wind reports. So that means, so we got trees coming down. So the winds are strong enough here in the Kansas City metro. 60, I saw a 65, tree fell on the house. Let's click on this one, 63. We have 63 as well. So winds in the 60s seem to be kind of all over. Emergency management reports large tree snapped into power lines at the Tonganoxie here in Tonganoxie in Leavenworth County. We have 60. So wind gusts seem like low 60s, 64 at the international airport. So low 60s already, way ahead of the precipitation here in the Kansas City area. So you're already getting those winds in the 60s. Whoops, that. And will continue to increase. So 60s now with clear skies and probably some scary looking clouds off to your west in the Topeka area here in Kansas City, and that will only increase as the storms race through here, probably by around 6 o'clock. I've been kind of maintaining that. We're already seeing here the storms are getting into the Topeka area here at 4:45, pretty much right around when I said they were going to. So around 6, I think they'll be getting to the western side of the area. Let's keep going south. It looks like Emporia is getting impacted as well. Emporia, Kansas. Emporia, Kansas getting hit with storms right now. We have, let's see, query that wind report, 62-mile-per-hour winds from over an hour ago. So that's happening right now. That was just, it was sunny out. So again, that's the crazy part about today. We've been getting wind well before these storms come through that is already going to be near damaging and severe. Let's see if we have any wind reports from Wichita. Looks like the storms are kind of forming now, getting close to the Oklahoma border. Let's click on that one. So 60-mile-per-hour non-thunderstorm wind gusts in Benton, and then maybe that other one off to the west of Wichita. Yeah, and Goddard, 62. So winds around 60 also impacted Wichita. That's why in our forecast today we had Andrea had the pink extreme markers pretty much across the board. This was the closest thing you can get to a certainty in the world of weather that there was going to be severe winds today across a very, very large area of the country. So I'd say we just got a tornado watch just got issued. Let's kind of zoom out and see where this got issued. Was it tornado watch or severe thunderstorm watch? I don't remember which. It's a thunder. Yeah, let's query it here across most of southeastern Kansas. Severe thunderstorm watch till 7 p.m. It's for wind, I'm assuming. Wind gusts up to something.
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say, and then?
It says that they've extended the severe thunderstorm watch.
Oh. So, okay, so it's probably the same severe thunderstorm watch at Kansas City. Click on the one in Kansas City. Let's see what they're expecting. I'm assuming around 80. I would say around 80 is winds to expect when these storms come through. Yeah, query it when it's in Kansas City, like the watch in Kansas City, see if it'll actually have, since that one's just an extension.
In effect until 7 p.m. We have a high wind warning for gusts 60 to 65. Another severe thunderstorm watch that doesn't say what the winds are.
That's all right. It'd probably be for winds around 80 miles an hour, just based on what we've been seeing here. The history of these storms and the fact there's no signs of weakening leads me to believe that you could probably see winds upwards towards 80 miles an hour in Kansas City. Again, around dinner time, 6:30 probably, depending on where you are in the metro. These storms are hauling. They've already passed Omaha. Let's go back up north towards the Omaha area. See what's happening there. Okay, looks like we're starting to get a bunch more reports. Let's kind of zoom in. Let's just see if we got any new reports to query. Let's get this one right in the middle of town here. That's just under the O in Omaha. Residential, oh my God. Okay. That's not good. So buildings are collapsed. We got building collapse here in Omaha. So this could be a pretty intense situation, guys. Again, I keep wanting to check reports. I'm really, kind of wanting to see what's happening when you see something intense move through and then you don't see the reports immediately. It's one of two things. It's either going to be not that bad or it's worse than you think, and a lot of stuff power's gone out and you don't have a way for people to report anything. And it seems to be the second one. Large garage doors on city building blown in. Ouch. Dang. Okay, yeah, it's going to be winds, and 80-mile-per-hour winds are going to do that. So this continues to race off to the north and east. Look at this right here to the west of Atlantic, Iowa. Let's zoom in on this just for a minute, and I think we might actually take a bit of a break so I can drink some water, and we can kind of make sure everything's running smooth so we don't have any other breaks within our coverage here. So, okay. Yeah, so this is a big old bow. Winds near 90 miles an hour racing towards I-80. Bring up CC's just in here. Yep, okay, so likely a tornado going on here. Hopefully there aren't too many folks in the areas between Hancock and Atlantic. Okay. All right, guys. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to take probably a bit of a break, and I'll come back once these storms either are moving through Topeka, which probably won't be that long from now, honestly, and definitely when they move through Kansas City. So stay tuned with us, guys. Apologize for any kind of technical errors that may have been going on. I'm going to try to correct all of that before we go live again, and we'll just kind of keep this coverage going. You guys have any pictures you're seeing, feel free to send them in. We can show them up here in the video as well. So, all right, we'll see you in a little bit.